Curiosity is the most powerful thing you own. Hope is not a strategy. Luck is not a factor. Fear is not an option. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. A woman's heart is an ocean of deep secrets. People call me a perfectionist, but I'm not. I'm a rightist. I do something until it's right, and then I move on to the next thing. Don't put limitations on yourself. Others will do that for you. Failure is an option. Fear is not. Failure has to be an option in art and in exploration because it's a leap of faith. Imagination is a force that can actually manifest a reality. To convince people to back your idea, you've got to sell it to yourself and know when it's the moment. Sometimes that means waiting. It's like surfing. You don't create energy, you just harvest energy already out there. The future is not set. There's no fate, but what we make for ourselves. No important endeavor that required innovation was done without risk. You have to be willing to take those risks. Nature's imagination is so boundless compared to our own meager human imagination. There are many talented people who haven't fulfilled their dreams because they overthought it, or they were too cautious and were unwilling to make the leap of faith. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to study the ocean before we destroy it. This is how it's done. When people are sitting on shit that you want, you make them your enemy. Then you're justified in taking it. Every time you dive, you hope you'll see something new, some new species. Sometimes the ocean gives you a gift. Sometimes it doesn't. I think people had somehow gotten the sense that we have explored everything, when that isn't the case. We know so little about the ocean, and so much of it is being destroyed. The magic doesn't come from within the director's mind. It comes from within the hearts of the actors. You have to not listen to the naysayers, because there will be many, and often they'll be much more qualified than you, and cause you to sort of doubt yourself. You have to have made the commitment within yourself to do whatever it takes to get the job done, and to try to inspire other people to do it. Because obviously the first rule is, you can't do it by yourself. There seems to be a lot of excitement around something that, to me, is a yawn. Inspiration can hit you in the head at any time, in any context. It could happen in a conversation. Talking to someone at a party, you can get an idea, but you've got to remember those inspirations. When you have the feeling that anything is possible, sometimes you wind up acting on it. James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because James Cameron is James Cameron. Sometimes your whole life boils down to one insane move. Your imagination can create a reality. Tread softly upon the earth, because the faces of the unborn look up at you. The nation that leads in renewable energy will be the nation that leads the world. Your only competitors are your past achievements. Here's my philosophy in life. If there's a fire, you put it out. If there's a flood, you fill sandbags and you build a dike. You roll up your sleeves and you get to work. I dreamed I was a soldier who could bring peace. Sooner or later, though, you always have to wake up. Nature's not our enemy, it's our sustenance, and we need it. And we need nature healthy for us to be healthy and to survive long term. If you wait until the right time to have a child, you'll die childless. We have a great responsibility. Whatever we make will become the truth, the visual reality that a generation will accept. You don't rest well as long as you're seeking vengeance. I feel sad justice wasn't done, but it's time to move on and sleep well. I'm a storyteller. That's what exploration really is all about. Going to places where others haven't been and returning to tell a story they haven't heard before. Sometimes, the more fantastic an idea is, the more you have to be very careful about how you design it. It's about human imagination and curiosity. What's out there? What's in the great beyond? What exists at levels we can't see with our five senses? I certainly didn't think of myself as gifted. The standards for being gifted in my environment were, if you were good in Little League, or if you were good in football. I love short trips to New York. To me, it is the finest 3-day town on earth. Any direct experience that I have with indigenous peoples and their plights may feed into the nature of the story I choose to tell. In fact, it almost certainly will. The snake kills by squeezing very slowly. This is how the civilized world slowly pushes into the forest and takes away the world that used to be. Please subscribe to Quotes A to Z for such motivational videos. Stay motivated, stay happy, let air.